Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to your favorite channel. And a quick recap on previous analysis. The battle to the Supreme Court is the next point. Manyora delved deep into circumstances under which Chebukati hurriedly announced results. And that was in a session whereby it was in a morning session on one of the leading channels, television channels, where there was Joy Divo and Herman Manyora. They differed. And I think I tend to support what Herman Manyora said. Our big point for this session is on what options are left for Raila Amolo Odinga at this moment and moving forward as far as Supreme Court move is concerned. At critical analysis on some of the sentiments from renowned lawyers, senior counsels, political analysts, and you know them, has led us to three options, ladies and gentlemen. But before we go into these options, if you're a first-time viewer, please allow me to encourage you to subscribe to our channel, and you can hit the notification bell so that anytime we upload a video, you become the first person to get notified. So the three options, the likely three options from Supreme Court decisions are as follows. One, the court can carefully look at the evidence presented and based on the weight of these evidences, call for a retally of all the Form 34As. And this task of retally and audit can be outsourced to a firm appointed by the judiciary. Ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean? The case of Minor Kiari that Chebukati kept referring to as to the reason why he entrenched the verification and everything. So that case of Minor Kiari was entrenched in the whole process of votes total determination. And errors will always be noted in this kind of exercise, the verification exercise. Mind you, if you are doing a verification of a particular tally, the idea is to ascertain if there is any error in the place. And if there is any error, what do you do? What next? I think Chebukati kept referring to that what next aspect as being the biggest challenge with the institution. On one part, you could look at Chebukati seriously defending himself by saying that he cannot alter Form 34As. But what if there is something that has been noted about voter suppression, vote suppression and vote inflation in the vote 34A? Then what happens in that scenario? I think that is the case that the court is supposed to determine. You see, the four rebelling IEBC commissioners posted a question to Chebukati about the status of the errors noted, in which, according to them, Chebukati recited to be scarce. What they are saying is that there were errors which were unearthed during the process of verification. So these concerns were never addressed, and Chebukati addressed them alone and did not share with the commissioners. So that is the concern. So the court in this option one will try to ascertain these errors which were erased or which arised as a result of the verification process, which was entrenched in the whole vote process, and decide that the weight of these errors could they overturn the decision of Chebukati, or what could be the result of these errors. So the audit report will then be submitted to the Supreme Court, which will present the report to Kenyans, and Chebukati will be ordered to pronounce the correct results and award the certificate to the correct winner. That is option number one of the Supreme Court. So the audit report submitted to the court, and then the errors will be determined or ascertained during the process of verification by this independent firm, and that report submitted to the Supreme Court for final judgment. So the first judgment could be Chebukati award the certificate to the correct winner. So option number 2, the courts can decide that based on the challenges and evidence presented, Chebukati failed to tell Kenyans the true position of the 28 constituencies and thereby making it hard to know who won. Remember, there were 28 constituencies which were not communicated to Kenyans. You remember when they started airing results, the Chebukati used to communicate the constituency tallies. But then the last 28 to 30 batch of constituencies was never communicated. So that is the bone of contention in this scenario. So as a result, the court can decide that IEBC prepare for a fresh election in 60 days because the 28 constituencies were not verified or were not availed. The results were not availed. So if they were not availed, then why did you decide to air out the result? Why could you seek for extension of this process? Because the courts have a mandate. They have authority to extend the term so that Chebukati and the team can take their time to source for these 28 constituency results. However, the argument between Joy Divo and HERMAN MANYORA, in which Joy Divo decided to side with election observer body ILOG, this also vindicated Chebukati in the whole process. So if Joy Divo decided to side with ILOG, the body that vindicated Chebukati from the whole mess, the Supreme Court can decide to vindicate Chebukati from the errors of the actions the 4 commissioners have cried foul over. Then Supreme Court can decide to affirm William Samoei Ruto's win, and that will be a final nail on Raila Amolo Odinga's political coffin, and the journey will come to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not a laughing matter, I know, but the whole process was marred by a lot of issues. When the Electoral Observer Body, ELOG, gave its vindication report, when it said that Chebukati was correct or right, whatever Chebukati did was in line with the Constitution, and then later on they cited that there were issues that emerged in the whole process. So even the Electoral Observer Body was applying some double standards. It is always good to call spade a spade. So you can't be saying that Chebukati made a correct decision and did according to the law, and then this other side you said the issues which emerged from that process should be addressed in the 2027 general election. So that is postponing the problem to a later date. What if in 2027 the same issues emerge? You will say, let's address these issues in 2032. So I think the move to take this to Supreme Court will be the right move, so that the Supreme Court can continue to better our electoral process by making judgmental decisions that should deter the fraudsters, the people who are fond of making the electoral process be an injustice to the Kenyans. Stop this shenaniganism. So, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps if you're watching our channel for the first time, please take a moment and subscribe. If you're a regular viewer who has not subscribed, please take a moment also and subscribe. You hit the notification bell so that you become a part of our community, and so that in the future, every time we upload a video, you become the first person to get notified. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to encourage you to still be safe and take care of yourselves. Once again, I'd like to say, see you later until we meet again for our next analysis.